Did anyone ever tell you that life after 80 can feel unexpectedly challenging? Even the most capable, independent individuals can find themselves caught off guard. In this video, we'll explore 5 difficult and surprising realities that nearly everyone faces after turning 80. These aren't the typical physical symptoms or changes in your medical reports. They're more subtle, shifts in how others interact with you, how you perceive time, and how your memories begin to reveal truths you may not have noticed before. Some of these points might resonate with you already, though you may have struggled to define them. Others may be new, but all of them shape the experience of aging in ways that often go unspoken. Stick with us until the end, because while these changes might sound tough, understanding them can bring clarity, strength, and even a renewed sense of purpose. There's real power in identifying what you're going through and knowing that you're not facing it alone. Let's begin. Number 1. The shrinking world of social connection. One of the earliest shifts after 80 is the gradual narrowing of your social circle. You might still get the occasional phone call or visitor, but it's clear that the rhythm has changed, and so has the feeling behind it. What once felt like a steady stream of connection may now seem unpredictable or delicate. Friends move away, face health issues, or pass on. Family members become busy with their own responsibilities. Without even noticing, you may start spending more time in quiet than in conversation. This isn't about feeling bitter. It's about being truthful. After 80, maintaining relationships becomes more difficult, and that effort often goes unspoken. You start to notice fewer invitations and longer stretches between visits. Even if you're someone who enjoys solitude, the absence of connection begins to feel heavier than you expected. You might find yourself reflecting more, not simply from nostalgia, but to keep loved ones emotionally close, even if only in your thoughts. The laughter, the shared routines, what once felt ordinary now feels precious. There's nothing wrong with this. It's not weakness, nor is it the classic idea of loneliness. It's an internal adjustment that many go through, yet few discuss openly. That's why it's more important than ever to stay emotionally in tune with yourself, your story, and with the few relationships that remain close. When the crowd thins, a handful of meaningful bonds become more valuable than ever. Number 2. How small health problems become big ones. Another reality that often takes people by surprise in their 80s is how quickly minor health concerns can escalate. A simple cold may linger far longer than it once did. A bruise might take weeks to fade. A small trip that you'd have brushed off before lunch could now lead to days, or even weeks, of recovery, therapy, or medical attention. It's not just about aging. It's about how recovery becomes less predictable. Your body's margin for error narrows, and little things, like skipping a meal or forgetting to hydrate, can have bigger consequences than they once did. You may still feel capable, and in many ways you are. But now your resilience needs your awareness and care. It no longer runs quietly in the background. These shifts often go unnoticed by others. Friends, family, and even healthcare providers may simply say, "That's just part of aging." But you know it's different. You feel how much more effort recovery takes. You notice how your energy doesn't bounce back the way it used to. This challenge isn't only physical, it's also emotional. There's a deep frustration that comes when your body doesn't cooperate the way it once did. And if you've always been someone who prides themselves on being strong, capable, and independent, this can feel especially difficult. But there's another side to this. Recognizing what's happening gives you power. You can make adjustments without giving in. You can be more mindful about how you move, rest, and care for your body. Awareness isn't defeat, it's a tool, and using it can help you stay steady, even when things begin to change. Hydration. More forgiveness. For yourself. At this stage in life, it's no longer about proving anything. It's about protecting the strength you still carry, by no longer taking it for granted. And sometimes, the strongest act is simply allowing yourself the time and space to heal. If you're still with us and finding these reflections meaningful, comment number 2 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest hitting that button and turning on notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. Your support truly helps us keep creating content that informs and uplifts. Let's continue. Number 3. The quiet loss of visibility in social spaces. One of the more difficult changes that comes with turning 80 is how quietly people begin to overlook you. It's rarely intentional. It's part of a silent cultural shift that's not often discussed. You enter a room, and the energy doesn't shift the way it once did. You speak, and at times, others talk over you. Not out of rudeness, but because they assume you're finished. You may find yourself repeating things, waiting longer to be acknowledged, or simply feeling unseen. Sometimes even among family. It's not just about being ignored. It's the quiet fading of presence in a world that moves quickly and celebrates youth more than ever before. It can feel like people see your age before they see you, as though your stories, your thoughts, your wisdom, despite their depth, somehow count for less. You've lived through love, loss, change. Yet sometimes, your presence feels like it's fading into the background. This can bring on sadness, frustration, even a quiet sense of grief. But recognizing this shift for what it is helps. It's not a judgment of your worth. It's a reflection of a society that often forgets to value its elders. You are not invisible. The world may not always notice you right away, but your voice still matters. And those who take the time to truly hear you, to listen to your stories and laughter, to sit with your memories, those are the people who matter most. They are listening, even if they take a little longer to lean in. So don't withdraw. Don't let the silence define your presence. Speak your truth. Share what you've seen, what you've endured. Be the quiet, steady reminder of what grace, strength, and resilience really look like. You may not be the loudest voice in the room, but yours is likely the wisest. And that carries more power than you think. Number 4. The shrinking of daily life. One of the more challenging aspects of life after 80 isn't just what changes inside the body, but what slowly disappears outside of it. The world you once knew, full of familiar faces and routines, gradually begins to feel smaller. Not all at once, but bit by bit. You might go out less often, not due to lack of interest, but because everything feels a little more difficult or tiring. Friends move, become ill, or pass on. Long-time neighbors relocate. Beloved local spots close down. Life doesn't collapse. It simply begins to contract. This narrowing brings a quiet, emotional weight. The loneliness can start as just a bit more quiet during the day. But it grows. Even for the most self-reliant people, watching once familiar places and people fade away is disorienting. But there's strength in naming this. It's not a weakness, it's grief. A very real and valid grief for what once was. It doesn't mean you've stopped living. It means you've loved, and now you're adjusting. And even as your old world closes in, a new one can still grow. Maybe not through big trips or events, but through meaningful conversations, a new friendship with someone younger, or sharing your life's lessons in ways you haven't before. Life doesn't need to be vast to be rich. It just needs to be alive. So call that friend, even if they live far away. Join a book club, even if it meets online. Take that short walk, even if it's just around the block. Your life may look different now, but it's far from over. It's shifting, and there's still plenty of space for laughter, connection, and joy. If this video is speaking to you, comment number 4 to let me know you're still here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Your support helps us keep creating content that inspires and informs. Let's continue. Number 5. The unpredictability of the body. After 80, your body can become unpredictable, and often at the worst times. One day, you might wake up clear-headed, steady, and strong. The next, you feel foggy, unsteady, unsure why your knees are stiff or your grip weaker than usual. What makes this so hard isn't just the inconvenience, it's the feeling of betrayal. This is the body you've relied on all your life, and now it seems to change the rules without warning. You might plan a walk and feel sudden fatigue. You bend to tie your shoes and notice how much longer it takes to stand again. You feel dizzy, stiff, or suddenly numb, only for it to pass just as quickly. But here's what isn't often said. This unpredictability doesn't just affect how you move, it affects how you feel about yourself. You may start to hesitate before going out, not because you can't, but because you're unsure what your body will do. And that uncertainty can make you feel more cautious, even fragile. This is normal. The key is in your response. Your body may be inconsistent, but you don't have to be. Flexibility becomes your new form of strength. Adaptability becomes your protection. You begin pacing yourself more, resting when needed, stretching, consulting your doctor not just for problems, but for guidance. You stay curious. You prepare. You stay a step ahead. And that knowledge of how to care for your changing body gives you back a sense of control. So no, your body might not behave the way it once did, but you, in your wisdom, are still leading the way. If you're still watching, comment number 4 so I know you're here. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell. Your support keeps us going, helping us bring you valuable and uplifting insights. Now, let's wrap up. We've just explored 5 difficult realities that often emerge after the age of 80. Each one unique. Each one quietly reshaping how we experience life. From fading social recognition to shrinking daily routines to the unpredictability of your own body. These changes often arrive without warning. But acknowledging them doesn't mean giving in to aging. It means stepping into this new chapter with clarity, grace, and wisdom. Which of these truths spoke to you the most? Have you experienced any of them personally, or seen them in someone close to you? We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and share one thing you've taken from today's video, and how you plan to respond. Maybe it's letting go of guilt. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you've lost touch with. Or maybe it's just being a little gentler with yourself. Your story might help someone else feel less alone. Because growing older doesn't mean losing value. It means gaining insight. And by facing these changes together, we not only strengthen ourselves, but one another. Thank you for being here. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it. Your support truly makes a difference. We'll see you in the next one.